Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
So it turns out the Kerberos Panzer Cops don't fucking play.
No, they don't. No. Do you like getting machine gun down? And I don't mean machine gun as in that AR-15. No. MG-42, son.
Yeah, like a legit bipod mounted machine gun.
But, the guy's just carrying it and walking at you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's fine.
They're here to help.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later since we're continuing our Oshii kick.
Yeah, man. You got to have like wacky Oshii and then super serious Oshii.
Yeah.
That's how it rolls.
Anyway,
before that, I have a whole series of things I want to get to that all kind of fit together a little bit. That all lead into JIN-ROH. Before we do that, we got to start with the news, man.
We do have to start with the news.
Tell me the goddamn news.
Start with the news, so I'll get the sad news out of the way first. Director and animator Kinji Yoshimoto has died. At the age of 55, he was one of the co-creators of Plastic Little.
Oh, bummer.
I know.
Such a classic.
I know. So we talked about Plastic Little before. It doesn't say why or how or, of what. But, yeah, Plastic Little we've talked about before, and, it was pretty good.
2021 is just eating old guys from the anime
But unfortunately,
industry.
Yeah. So, R.I.P.
Pour one out.
Yoshimoto, pour one out for the man.
God, it's like every week I got to pour one out.
Yeah. Anyway, now that sad news out of the way, we'll get to something wackier.
Super happy fun time.
So Japan is returning to theaters. The most bizarre double screen I think I've seen. I could think of weirder ones, of course, but this one actually happened. So back in 2001, they screened Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. The one with the white-eyed Godzilla.
No pupils here, son.
And the frickin', he was the embodiment of the rage of dead Japanese soldiers from World War II. Spoiler alert for that movie, but yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, they did a double feature of that with Hamtaro, Adventures in Ham Land. If they were going on at the same time, it would at least make sense. Hey, kids, you go here, we're here. No.
It's one and
double
then to
feature.
other. That's hilarious.
So, yeah, they're just bringing that back, for fun. Why not? So, if you're in Japan, hey, check it out. Or, I don't know, I'm sure I don't know if you can find that damn Hamtaro movie over here. You can certainly get GMK. GMK is easy to get. You should have it.
I got it on the shelf.
Yeah, I got to see if I think there's a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I just have the shit DVD.
Criterion Collection. Your Godzilla Showa collection is the bomb. Where's my Heisei collection? Where's my Millennium collection?
It's so good. It made my 40th birthday.
Or put Heisei and Millennium together. Dating yourself, old man. Anyway.
Hey, that was a fun day.
It's a cool combo of things. All right. Moving on. So, we have here a little bit of Netflix news. You know how we love the Netflix news?
Oh, yay.
3 things in a row. So, this is a series I have no real hope for. But I will say, casting is not as bad as I thought it would be. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about One Piece.
I knew you were going to talk about One Piece.
So, live-action One Piece is a fool's game and just shouldn't be made. I think when we discussed it before, it was
too fucking weird.
Yeah, you could theoretically do like a movie that's just a weird amalgamation, but you can't adapt that shit. How the fuck are you going to be adapting like 1,000+ episode show? Well, a manga that equals 1,000 episode anime. How many volumes are they up to in the fucking manga at this point? Like 90. It's ridiculous.
It's a whole bunch.
It's a lot. It's a fool's game.
Also, you can't do any of their powers with fucking $3 Netflix budgets.
No,
you just
absolutely
can't.
Not. No, it's not going to work. But we can laugh at it at some point. But I will say the casting is not completely terrible. They even left Nami as a redhead.
Wow.
Isn't that
I thought they were
shocking.
banned. The redheads were banned forever.
I know.
From, like, the Earth.
The only one I'm not so sure about is Sanji, but he just looks like a doofus here. But he doesn't have the hair, so it's hard to tell.
You need to be...
Sanji without the hair and the infinite cigarette, which you won't have, of course, so... You know,
wonder why
fuck
not.
me. How I obviously can't even do smoker. That guy's got a lot of cigars all the time.
Was
And
I
he turns into
smoking in
smoke.
the Cowboy Bebop trailer? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Man, they're smoking all the time. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I know. Like Jet smoking continuously.
Yes, he is. Whatever. Anyway, I have no hope for One Piece, but it is good to see at least that the casting is not absolute hyper trash. So we'll see where it goes.
Fair enough.
They're putting out there like, oh, Ichiro Oda, he's the executive producer or whatever. Like, yeah, he wants to collect money. Of course he does.
Yeah.
But Oda doesn't do anything but draw One Piece. He's the biggest goddamn manga nerd to ever exist. Does Oda miss weeks? No. Does Oda ever fucking stop? No. He's a goddamn autist.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Because, like, every other
mangaka like
has,
burns
like,
themselves out.
or has endless excuses. Like, oh, I got the shits this week. I can't do
I got to
it.
play Samurai Spirits again. Sorry.
I got to take a fucking sabbatical. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not him. He's
Not him.
trucks.
Still trucking. Anyway. Got some more Netflix news.
God, how do you come up with that many stories every week? That's wild.
I mean, the overarching story it makes sense, but he drags it out. It gets very dragged out.
I know, but still.
I like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. So that's not pooping on One Piece, but man.
Yeah, no, that's kind of amazing.
It really is. It's going to be one of those, as long as he sticks to the ending, which I have some faith in him too. He's done a good job at every other, like the halfway ending before the time skip. Like,
Yeah.
they were all good. He's done a good job. So I have faith. I have faith in the man.
Not like Fairy Tail, like crapped out after the time skip.
Yeah, well,
I thought it did anyway.
fair enough. A lot of shows do. Some shows get better. A lot of them just get worse.
It didn't get worse. It was just like, whatever.
No, I'm not saying that's one that did, but there are shows that
And then
get
the
worse.
anime, there was like weird filler and shit. But
I was never a fan of
whatever.
Bleach, after like the middle portion. Can't remember if there was a time skip per se.
I don't know if I ever finished Bleach. I just
Yeah,
got
it's
sick
just-
of it because it was so boring.
Like the beginning I liked. I liked it for the first like couple.
That was one of those
seasons,
shows
but-
that had like that one chick that was a plot device that got kidnapped every 20 minutes.
Oh, the redhead.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was just the chick who always like was useless and always got kidnapped, and then like that was every like arc was her having to get saved.
Yeah.
And that's stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about
It's a
Bleach.
good idea though.
It was definitely, no offense again, but it was the least of all the things that were out around the same time. Like, it's not as good as Naruto was.
Oh no.
It's not.
Like,
I don't even think
original-
it's as good as Inuyasha.
Original Naruto was pretty dope.
But then again, I kind of like Inuyasha, so
Oh, I loved Inuyasha.
someday I'll maybe finish it. All right. Moving on. So, Netflix has found another show they'd like to ruin.
Thank God.
I'll give you 3 guesses. What anime / manga would they want to ruin next? And it's not Attack on Titan. I'll just take that one off the table right away.
Nah, it's too new. What they want to ruin next?
Think about it. You know, they're hitting on the 90s to 2000 stuff. So what would be the next?
So we got Cowboy Bebop. We got One Piece.
Yeah, they did Death Note
They did Death Note.
terribly.
90s. Nah, I got nothing.
Nothing. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Well, I would never fucking guess that.
That's what I'm saying. I figured you at least said maybe Hunter x Hunter. No. Yu Yu Hakusho.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I don't.
I mean, it's like a super basic. It's kind of the shit they should have been doing, because it's super basic plot. And I mean, I don't know how you're gonna. The problem is like the fight tournament. Like, I'm sure all the special effects, like they're not gonna put any money into like the actual. Like if they had like Hong Kong guys come and train everybody to do it, it would be fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you need special effects because they all have crazy powers and stuff. But I mean, the actual plot makes sense because it's just fucking spirit detectives, man. Like, you can do a lot with that. But all the like crazy fighting and powers and blah blah blah, This is just not gonna fly.
Yeah,
They're gonna cheap out. Fuck it up.
it's the kind of thing that could be adapted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they don't have the money.
That's
to
what
do
I
it.
mean. Like, it's very adaptable. It's just I'm
Yes.
sure they'll not do a good job because that's their game. I would have picked that way the fuck before I did One Piece because that has no
agreed.
prayer. Like,
I know One Piece is super popular, but that is just not. It's damn near unadaptable. People whine about like Dune being unadaptable. Fucking One Piece is unadaptable.
oh yeah, Dune is not unadaptable.
How long till they freaking adapt Evangelion? You know it's gonna happen.
Oh, remember there was talk of that that fucking guy was gonna do it. King of 90s action movies. Michael Bay.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, no, that was a legit thing I'd read several times.
Yeah,
that,
it sounds
like,
terrible.
Michael Bay was gonna do
Because he
it.
did such a great job with Transformers.
Oh god, what a disaster! I knew that was never gonna happen. Ghost of the Shell actually happened. I never thought that would happen either.
It was all right. Battle Angel Alita finally happened, and that was awesome. Watch Battle Angel Alita.
As a like direct adaptation, it was a fucking masterpiece.
It's the. I'd have to think about it just to make sure I'm not missing something, but it's the best ones they've done.
Off the
best
top
ones
of my
Hollywood
head.
has done.
Yeah, I mean it's like fucking shot for shot practically.
I mean, if I put it up against everything, I still think those Kenshin ones were probably a little better.
they're really fun. That's a way easier thing to
But it's way
adapt, though.
easier, exactly. So
Because I mean that's just like a
they're way less
basically-
impressive in that regard, but they're
Yeah,
excellent.
because Kenshin is basically like a historical
Anyway.
drama with extra wacky bullshit.
Yeah, December 2023, you two can look forward to Yu Yu Hakusho on. No, don't look forward to it. Don't watch that. As a matter of fact,
as long
just
as-
go watch Yu Yu Hakusho again because it's cool.
As long as there's a fighting headband of love.
Fucking better be.
There won't.
All right.
They didn't even give Faye her goddamn headband. They're certainly not going to give Kuwabara
Let's
his
not
headband.
talk about that. All right. So
Anyway,
this
if
is
you've never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, you should go watch it because it's really good.
yes, this next bit of Netflix news, the last bit of Netflix news I have, thankfully.
Thank God.
I don't know how to feel about this. I still don't think it will be good, but I have a little more hope. So the Gundam film they're doing.
Bleh. Bleh.
So I originally thought they were just going to adapt, the original series. Thank God they are not, because that would have never worked. You can't do that one movie. You just can't do that one movie. Not
No.
going to work.
Not at all.
So what they're doing is an amalgamation. He's kind of just doing his own thing and just taking from all the different Gundam series. That to me I'm not saying you can fuck that up too, of course, but that at least makes more sense because that's a Gundam thing anyway. Gundam has a ton of shows like that.
Every goddamn Gundam series is a riff on the original.
Yes.
Pretty much. I mean,
So, they can do something with that. It's also, Kong Skull Island's director is the guy who's running it, who's directing it. Brian K. Vaughan's scripting it. His X-Men one I was not a fan of.
yeah.
That was that new X-Men. Not a fan.
No, it's pretty awful.
They have a piece of art, I will say, that they just released. It looks like the original Gundam. It doesn't look stupid. So, it's hard to see. So, maybe it will, but it looks kind of cool. I don't know why everything's on fire, but hey, whatever. It is
Once
what it is.
again, aside from robot fights, which probably cost a lot of money, it's an easy thing to adapt if you just kept it like on ships and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of like interplay between the characters, and politics, and a lot of shit you could easily work with. Unfortunately, that's not what makes Gundam good, but whatever. They're probably just gonna leave out everything that made like Gundam awesome. Like Gundams.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I will give this one a shot. I'll give anything a shot, but I'll give this one a shot. I think it's got
Unless I see something really awful between now and then.
I give it a better than 10% chance of being good.
Wow. Better than 10%, he says.
I know, very generous.
Fucking mathematical.
Mathematical. Highly scientific. Not pulled directly out of my ass at all.
Plus 10%.
I'm still more excited for the new Gundam shows that Sunrise is doing themselves, but hey, I'll still check it out.
I certainly am.
Hey, if something could bust open a little bit of live action mecha again, which I was hoping Pacific Rim would have done, I'm not going to complain. Not that I trust Hollywood to do anything, but if we get a couple good shows out of it, I'd like it.
They need to do live action Voltron. Be the best. I mean, Netflix shouldn't do, but it should be done in general.
Yeah, well, we know how Hollywood handles things nowadays, so be careful what you wish for.
It'll never happen. I'm not worried about it.
5 black lesbians are the pilots. I hope you realize.
They all pile the black line.
Oh, every line is black.
There's no other line.
Correct. All right, moving on.
But it was already a rainbow.
So it probably would be.
Tell you, man.
The rainbow flag color.
Writes
Regardless, we're not doing it.
It writes
All right.
itself.
So this is just, I didn't realize this was actually happening, but yeah, apparently next April we're actually finally getting Tiger and Bunny 2.
Oh, nice. It's only been,
My God.
10 years?
To me, the OG superhero, and it's not because there's other older superhero stuff, but the OG like superhero anime.
It was like the first of that era.
Yeah. Predating, Hero Academy, obviously.
Yeah. But it had that same kind of feel.
What's the other superhero one? Oh, and predating One Punch Man.
Yep.
Although One Punch Man is the bomb, so can't complain.
No, it was definitely the first of that era of like, I have superpowers, blah, blah, blah.
And the guy who directed the anime was Keiichi Sato, so that's why it was good, because Big O was awesome.
Hell yeah. No, I like Tiger Bunny a lot, and I always wish they did more. But they didn't. But now they are, because they're Japan, and 10 years later, they'll just pull it out of their ass.
So apparently the new anime is being directed by Atsuko Kase, who did Stardust Memory, son.
Whoa.
0083.
Damn, that's awesome.
I'm officially double hyped about this, because
I'm double
Stardust
stoked.
Memory is, I can't say it's my favorite Gundam OVA, but it's damn close.
It's like tied for my favorite.
That one, the Mess Team and Unicorn are all like, they're
So
right
hard.
there.
It used to be before Unicorn came out. Unicorn's so fucking good.
Yeah, although I still like the Mess Team. Regardless, get hyped for that second Tiger and Bunny if you like the original. And if you didn't, go watch it because you'll like it.
I'm extremely hyped.
It was
Now I have
pretty good.
something to look forward to.
I should actually go and watch the movies at some point because I haven't.
I don't know if I have. I probably did just a long
Yeah.
time ago, so I don't remember them.
All right, so my last bit of news is slightly political, but I won't get too political. But it's finally happened, boys. It's finally happened. Frickin' we've jumped the shark.
Thank God.
Anime memes are now being used by sitting U.S.
saw
politicians.
I saw that. That's good.
So they
Good
can
stuff.
get extremely butthurt about it and pretend like it's the worst thing ever.
Oh, they wanted like a...
I think it's just cringy, but
Didn't Pelosi want an investigation?
everybody wants an investigation.
Over everything.
Like we live in clown world. Here's
I
here's
heard
the-
he
here's
burned
the-
his toast this
here's why I'm
morning.
not going to get political. You know why? Politicians fucking suck. All of them, everywhere.
Yeah.
News at 11.
I've been there since I was like in elementary
Yeah.
school. It's kind of obvious.
I mean, yeah, you might find a good one here and there, but that's like,
Nah, I don't think so.
yeah, it's
That ship has sailed.
like finding a tiger that won't eat you. It's just it's
it might not for a while,
thing.
but you
yeah,
can't
exactly,
trust it to.
exactly.
It's like idiots that try to tame bears and shit.
So anyway, if you want to see
Dank memes.
Aaron attacking a giant Biden head, go right ahead.
I thought it was a giant AOC head.
No, it's a Brandon head.
The one I saw was an AOC
Now
head.
see, more than one.
Well, I mean,
That's how memes work.
you can kind of Photoshop
That's how
anybody's
memes
head you want onto
work.
it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, that's all I got for the news.
Wow, is Photoshop completely responsible for memes?
I don't fucking know. What do I look like? A memeologist?
No, I'm just saying.
Freaking email one.
Like, before you could cut stuff out, like cut people's heads out in Photoshop, how did you even make memes?
I don't know, man. You get some scissors and a fucking magazine, you make it happen.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think it had the impact.
I'm not
though.
saying it
What are you gonna
worked.
like put it in the newspaper?
No,
Like,
man, you photocopy it and staple it up all over town.
yeah.
Balloon boards.
Or make bad stickers, like photocopy paper stickers. Remember
Shit,
those?
man, I don't know. Go
Good
on the
stuff.
evening news, call a press conference, and call him a jive sucker.
Right. At any rate.
Moving on. Let's discuss Squid Game.
Sure.
So, watched Squid Game recently, like damn near everybody else in existence.
Yes. Last week we said we weren't going to talk about it, but I guess we are.
But we are going to talk about it. Just a little bit.
Fine.
Just a little bit. So, it was good.
So it's the standard trope.
It's standard trope. So, yeah, is it the same thing again? Kind of. I mean, if you've seen Battle Royale, yeah, it's similar. It's not the same. If you've seen Saw, some DNA of Saw in there.
There's a lot of that stuff.
There's a through line, right? And it's an old idea, that there's short stories and sci-fi from back in like the 50s and 60s that has the same thing. I'm sure even older than that.
The Most Dangerous Game
Has a similar kind of idea. Oh man, makes me want to watch. There's Hard Target.
Was the one with Ice-T?
That's the one I'm thinking of. That wasn't Hard.
Fuck, what was that?
No, that was Hard Target, wasn't it?
No, I thought it wasn't a Hard Target.
Or was that Van Damme?
That was Van Damme.
I don't know. There was one with Van Damme, and there was one with Ice-T. I like the one with Ice-T better.
I can't remember the name.
I can't remember what the hell it is. I remember he puts the cigarette butt in the gun at the end, and it backfires. And kills the guy.
Yeah, because that would definitely happen.
Yeah, exactly. That would totally work. Pro tip: that won't work.
No.
But anyway, Squid Game. Y'all seen the memes. Y'all get the thing. Y'all get the idea.
Oh, I've seen the memes.
Degenerates down on their luck. Got to play a game. Play kids' games with deadly consequences until there's only one of them left to win the all the money.
The rub with Squid Game that is different from all those other ones is completely voluntary.
Yes, and we could. It's very intelligent in its voluntary. You can even vote to leave, and they do at some point.
Because most of the other ones, it's prisoners or something.
Yeah, or it's people taken against their will, students, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This, it's not. But is it really voluntary? Some of them, it's like, God, you got yourself in this situation. You damn well deserve it. Most of them are that way. Very Saw in that way, right?
Yeah. You dumb.
But I don't know. Like, some of them, reality just sucked. Like, it just kind of conspired to screw him over.
Oh, like the old man was
going
to die anyway, so he's like,
well, yeah, but we won't give away that. But there's more to that. There's a lot more to that.
Whoa. I'm just saying.
But, I mean, yeah, you had the gangster guy. He clearly deserved it because he was just a freaking asshole.
Yes.
But then, like, the girl who had escaped North Korea and was just trying to...
her backstory was shit.
Yeah, and so, you had some sympathy. And it was well written, and it did a good job of just not being stupid.
Oh, yeah, it was a really good class and like just good stock writing
and good characters. Not overly focusing. Like there's some weird plot things, like the cop that's there. I mean, that's kind of a distraction. I do agree. I think Drinker did a thing on that. And I agree. Like that's a bit of a distraction. It's important. It's a good long-term thread.
That's my thing. I think it's going to be a thread for the second season.
Exactly. Now that they've announced the second season.
That's the only reason we're talking about it.
Yes, because there's not going to be a second season.
Now it's worth my time.
Yeah. So, look, we're not going to talk about it too much because there's really no need. Watch it.
Smarter people than us have covered it.
I'm not going to say give Netflix your money because you know how we feel about Netflix, but
give Korea your money.
Yeah, give Korea your money. Find a way to watch it. Watch it. I mean, it's good.
Actually worth a watch.
It's got good style. It's
way better than I expected.
It doesn't try to do stupid things outside its budget. Like, sometimes that shit stretches and they try to do stuff that just, no, they don't do any of that. It's pretty smart. It's fairly well paced. Episode 2 is a little rough. You gotta get over that hump in episode 2.
Isn't episode 2 the one that's like movie length and you're just like, oh
God, it's all backstory.
So much backstory.
Yeah, because they, spoiler alert, they vote to leave. This is early on, so they vote to leave and they let them leave because you can vote at any time. And with the majority, you can leave.
But then they're suckers, and they all get sucked back in.
And they all get sucked back in.
Because their lives are so shitty.
And it's not all of them. Like, again, the writing is smart. Like, they look, and there's a bunch of players back, but some players did not come back. They just chose not to come back. Because you didn't have to come back either. There was no... It always felt sinister, but they really were all about fairness. Now...
Oh, that's why it was weird. It's just like, man, these guys aren't that evil.
Eventually, there's some stuff that happens later where, it's like, okay, there is of course, some people are cheating. Some people are trying to get ahead. There's some stuff going on with the people that run the game. Then there's some stuff going on with
there's the whole
people that organize the game.
There's the whole rich guys betting on it thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, they try to make it fair, but of course, humans are humans. And they never, people, this is the other thing I want to say about it. People tried to read in like 18,000 different narratives. Like, it's anti-capitalism, it's anti-socialism, it's anti-communism.
It's not anti-anything.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Ask the fucking director or the writer.
No, you have to go back in time 5 years to when things could just be on TV without like some ulterior motive.
Well, I mean, to me, it's just a classic. It's a trope already because it's that style of like Death Game. And two, it's a classic character study.
Yeah.
It's all about people down on their luck and what they do.
It wasn't so much about capitalism or socialism. It was about people overextending themselves, getting into, making bad decisions, basically.
It's about the human condition.
Getting into deep shit that they can't get out of.
And how different people deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you do when you have like, a way to get out of it that is like sucky, but, is it suckier than your
Are you going to fuck other people over? Are you going to try to help out other people, even if it might hurt you? Or what are you going to do? Are you heroic, not heroic? It's fascinating. It's a classic make up your own fucking mind kind of character study. Right?
Whenever I would like ask people why they enjoyed Revolutionary Girl Utena, they would tell me it was that. It was a good character study. Except that it's not.
It would be.
Squid Game is.
It would be if the characters were consistent till the end of the.
That's the point. It's not like at all.
Maybe they are consistent.
No, they're not.
Maybe they are only because the characters that are extremely inconsistent and not making logical decisions are women. Shh. God, I'm gonna be sent to like the incel concentration camp.
Oh, you're kind of right. All the guys are like pretty stock sinister the whole time.
I mean, evil as fuck, a lot of them, but I don't know. I didn't think it made sense because Utena herself is a lot more logical and very. It just didn't. Her choices don't make sense.
Until she's not.
And it tells me now that I see how other versions have ended, especially like how I read how the manga ended. Again, I'd have to read it, but from what I read about how the manga ended, that made a hell of a lot more sense. That was a much better, more satisfying story. But I know a lot of people love it.
Anyway, I digress, and I apologize because I bring up Utena all the time. It's like how Sig brings up Lupin the Third all the time. Some things you just gotta.
I will never shut up about Lupin the
Third.
Keep riding. It makes me
At
very
any
happy.
rate, back to Squid Game. Excellent character study.
Excellent character study. That was about all I had to say about it. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, it was just written well. It had no weird agenda. It was just a nice, entertaining. What was it? 8 episodes.
Might have been 9, but
film.
Yeah,
whatever. It was good. I enjoyed it.
It was good.
It was better than I expected it to be. Usually when something gets a lot of hype, it's crap.
Yeah, and I'm always leery when something gets a lot of hype, but it was good. It apart from that second episode that dragged a little bit, which it made sense and it lays the
foundation. It kind of had to. Like you had to jam all that shit in there somewhere. So.
After that, like it was it held my attention completely. Like
now Netflix is going to make a Gantz show. It's going to be that, except with an orb. Yeah, with an orb and with it's Netflix, so maybe not, but with like, I don't know, dirty, sexy girls. There better be skin tight outfits.
I mean, that's kind of their thing.
Super mad.
Yeah, they'll add padding. No. Make them frumpy.
They're just gonna make them all wear fucking trash bags.
No, the dudes will be in their skin tight normal suits because again, it was equal opportunity, man. The dudes were in the skin tight suits just like the ladies.
The same thing. Yeah.
The dudes will be in the skin tight suits and the ladies will be in potato sacks.
Yep.
Because that's just how it goes.
Spray painted black.
How dare you?
Anyway, I digress.
I digress as well. I digress all the way to Cowboy Bebop. OG Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, basically, whenever somebody does a reboot or something of something that I enjoy, I like to rewatch the original thing. Just to like fortify myself against the reboot.
Well, plus you can judge it appropriately.
Yeah.
And not that it has to be the same thing. Because, I don't know that anybody's looking for faithful one-to-one adaptations of animated works.
I like it
because it's not necessarily going to happen.
I like it to be 90% the same thing, but maybe a little twist. Just something to zazz it up.
Well, it's got to have the right soul, the right design, the right look, the right casting. But it doesn't necessarily have to tell the exact same story, or as long as they don't screw up the heart of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Not to go back to Conan, but that's the Conan movie.
Yeah.
In a
Or
nutshell.
95 Dread. That is Conan. 95 Dread versus 2012 Dread. Or Judge Dredd versus Dredd. 2012 Dredd, I think, got the heart of it more accurate.
Oh, yeah.
2000 or 95 Dredd
Yeah,
got the look of it closer.
95 Dread was like from the actual comic.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it was just kind of a slow, boring movie that didn't go anywhere. I don't know.
It was a mess.
It was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Like Dread, like the newer one, is like way.
It got the
fucking
heart
better.
of what made the Dredd comics good.
Yeah, super good.
More accurate. So it's the same kind of thing, right? So Cowboy Bebop, right? So we just started watching the original again just because, I don't know, it was on there to watch. Needed something to watch. Let's rewatch it. I haven't watched it in 15 years.
Fucking ground through it too. We're already like on the ass end
Yeah,
of it.
so we're not quite done with it, but it's like, episode 20 or so, and I already know how it ends. I can remember that. So we haven't got to Pierre LaFaux yet, which
it's true.
is a good episode. I think that's next episode after. But I'd forgotten how good I forgot a couple things. One, how long it took them to get Ed.
Yes.
Because that doesn't show up till episode like 9.
Oh, Faye doesn't even show up till like episode 3 or something.
Yeah, Faye doesn't show up till episode 3. And then they leave her abandoned, which is in space, which is hilarious. So it did solidify some of my thoughts that, one, Faye is the classic femme fatale. She's, gambling all the time, losing all her damn money. She's a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah, and then she blames it on everybody else.
Blames it on everybody else but herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she's good with a gun. She's dangerous, but she's not kung fuing anybody.
Nah, not really.
I mean, she's got some kicks here and there, but
yeah, it's not.
she
it's
may
not
get
her
some
strong
chumps,
suit.
but she ain't fighting Spike.
She's not fighting anybody with them skinny legs.
I'd forgotten how much Spike is just Bruce Lee.
Yes. They did an awesome job with like the mannerisms and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because it was Watanabe's like ode to American stuff. Basically,
Oh yeah, Mushroom Samba with all like the blaxploitation characters he got in it. Those are awesome.
I didn't
man.
even realize that the first time as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was definitely watching some 70s movies.
I watched it when I was what did it come out 98?
Yeah, I think we watched it 2001, 2002,
So I mean, I was like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Ish. So I didn't really take in all the like the stuff that was there.
The obvious Pam Grier character.
Yes.
Right. Freaking Bushido Brown.
Yeah, basically. He would
that
drag
one
the
guy.
coffin around. So good.
Oh, that guy was great. Yeah,
There's just a lot there that I didn't pick up the first time.
it's an excellent show. It's well paced. It doles out its story in snippets. It gives you a little bit of character growth for a character here, character there, but it weaves it into an episode smartly. So it's not just, hey, let's do a backstory episode. It all ties together.
Yeah, there aren't any like even like there's a few that like Jet episodes that are like backstory, but they're really good episodes.
That Faye one was probably the most backstory heavy one.
Yeah. But it was still funny.
I can't remember the name of it, but the one with, half of it, it's the dude who, he was taking care of her after she got out of the unfrozen, when she was unfrozen caveman.
Yeah.
Got out of the cryo freeze and was, at that hospital. Then she ran away. And then
the fuck was that movie?
He faked his own death. Yeah, Encino Man. Thanks, Pauly Shore.
Classic.
Brendan Fraser, though. Love that guy. But yeah, that's a backstory. But even then, the second half of the episode ties it all back together and ties it in with the now, and
yeah, everything's woven together really well.
It's good.
I have a newfound appreciation.
It's good.
It was so hyped. I won't say overhyped, but it was the bee's knees back in like.
Well, I mean, it was one of the few things that was on, and it was was it the first thing they put on Adult Swim? The first anime on Adult Swim.
It also chapped my ass because it came out like at the exact same time as they used to do this back in like the 90s, the 2000s. Like two studios, whatever the two big studios were, would put out two shows the same season. They were the exact same thing. And one would win, and the internet would like declare it the greatest thing ever, and the other one was shit. But they would usually both be good. So, and it came out the same time as Outlaw Star, which is similar.
I don't think it
but a
came out-
completely different thing.
I don't think it was the exact same time.
No, but it came over
here
here
was,
around the same
pretty
time,
much the
you know
same
what I mean?
time. And
Because you couldn't watch things simultaneously back then,
I still like Outlaw Star more. Objectively, it's not better. I get
Oh,
it.
yeah, definitely.
It's not.
Cowboy Bebop is definitely a better put together, like start to finish, like well thought out, like tons of little detail series. But Outlaw Star is just fun.
Outlaw Star is that more fun pulp that I like.
Yes.
It's a little less
definitely.
serious. It's a little more pulpy.
Come on, it has Lord Hazanko.
It's a little less noir. Like Cowboy Bebop definitely has that noir through line.
Yes.
Especially with Jet, but it's got that noir through line. And I always found noir just a little too depressing in nature.
Well,
for me.
yeah, I mean, you know how that ends. But
Yeah, but even
Outlaw Star just had
barring the
more
ending, like-
wacky stuff, like all the Tau magic and like
Yes.
the caster guns and the grappler ships. It was more gimmicky. And I don't know. I was
Sir,
kind of into it.
I have one word for you. Well, maybe it's two words put together. Cat girl.
Yeah, it has a cat girl.
You know what I'm saying?
It has a freakishly strong cat
A freakishly
girl.
strong buff cat girl.
Oh, it has
it's a lot of fetishes at once.
Oh, it has Shizuka?
Suzuka.
Suzuka, that's who it was,
Suzuka.
yeah. Which is basically her Goemon. I mean, his Goemon.
Yeah, she's, I mean, not as ridiculous as Goemon, but who is. But yes, not to go back to Lupin the Third, but she's Goemon. I mean, let's be real here.
So many things just cloned like that. It's not even cloning Lupin the Third. It's just like you have that like main character,
It's a trope.
sidekick, and then femme fatale. And Suzuka is your femme fatale.
Well, their femme fatale is kind of broken up between Suzuka and Aisha Clan.
Aisha Clan's not femme fatale. She'll just tear your face off. Like, she's a freaky, like, Hulk down.
Yeah, but my
alien.
point is they kind of, they satisfy in two ways.
And what was that other chick's name?
Oh, the
one they found in the cryo.
Oh yeah. By the way, I know we're drifting into Outlaw Starlord here, but if you want to see the anime that freaking Firefly ripped off a lot of things from, watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
Because there's some direct rip-offs.
Yeah,
going
I
on
forgot
there.
to mention that. I'm glad you thought of it.
I mean, they stole some from Cowboy Bebop too, but
yeah, they take a lot of shit from.
They
Outlaw
take a
Star.
lot
probably
from
because they
Outlaw
thought they
Star.
wouldn't get caught as much because it wasn't as popular.
and I'm not shitting on Firefly. I love
Oh, no,
Firefly.
I loved it.
It's great. And again, it goes back to our original conversation we've had
I never
a million
hate
times.
on taking things from other things.
Exactly.
like-
As long as it's not a direct ripoff in total, and it wasn't, and it does something interesting with it, I don't give a shit.
Even if it's an homage and it is kind of a direct ripoff with just a little bit of a twist, that's still good. As long as you admit it, as long as you don't pretend like it's your idea, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. But anyway, before this Netflix thing comes out, we're talking to a friend of ours who hasn't seen the original and was like, hey, this trailer looks pretty good, right? For the Netflix thing.
He's a child.
And as I said last week, I can see that. The trailer doesn't look like absolute garbage for the Netflix one. But
It just ignores a lot of shit.
if you've
that
seen
made
the
series
original,
good.
you could see the homages, but you're like, it's not doing it for me. Again, we'll still give it a chance. We'll see what happens.
I have
But
demands.
the casting is not doing anything for me. But
And if there's no Ed, I don't know how that's going to work.
yeah, I really, the addition of Ed is really, to me, it's
You
necessary.
need a wacky screaming child to run around with Ein.
And be ridiculously good at random things.
And then be Hacker Man every third episode.
Hacker
Like,
Man, hack him back to life.
I hack that shit back to life. Because Ed is really good MacGuffin. Like
Oh, yeah.
whenever they need something, it's just like, bam, I just found this thing in 30 seconds on the whatever net they
The
have.
web, the net,
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
So
But
I don't know.
anyway, Cowboy Bebop, the original. I mean, it's got that mix of great designs, great style, excellent voice acting. The English voice cast is actually excellent, and I think even what Watanabe has said, like it's his preferred way to.
Well, I
watch
mean,
it
if
now, but
it was Watanabe's,
maybe that's
if that was his
apocryphal, but
love letter to American stuff that he liked, of course he's
it
gonna
makes some
want
sense.
dubbed,
It
you know
always
what I
makes
mean?
me sad how much they fucked up the dub to Black Lagoon.
Yeah, I know, because that was supposed to be.
Revy is not a bubbly killer. She's dead inside.
Yeah.
How do you not fuck that up?
And it never the voice didn't match the faces she was
Yeah,
making.
which-
it's really dumb.
when she finds enjoyment in killing things, it's because she's dead inside. The Japanese voice actress sounds like she's been smoking 20 packs a day.
Oh yeah, her voice is super deep, and she's like super.
And
like,
she's just dead inside. Ugh. It's another topic for another day, but I still can't believe how much they fucked up that dub. The Cowboy Bebop one is not fucked up. Excellent dub.
One of my favorites, actually.
Oh yeah, excellent show. Tons of style. It's just don't listen. Just watch it. Just stop listening to me. You go watch it.
Go watch.
Well, finish listening to this first, then go watch it.
Go watch Outlaw Star too.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It's similar, but not really. People pretend like it's the same thing, but it's not even close.
I mean, if Cowboy Bebop popped off even a little bit on Netflix, and I were another one of those streaming services that wanted a series, I was Amazon. If I were, I don't know, about a foot and a half shorter, and King of Manlets like Jeff Bezos,
zing,
and getting mogged, getting mogged by freaking Leonardo DiCaprio of all people.
Boom.
Yeah, I would. I'd be looking at Outlaw Star as a fabulous thing to adapt.
It's way more CG. You have to have grappler ship fights. You have to have Lord Hazanko.
That is the other thing.
Lord Hazanko in his fabulous armor.
Yeah, Lord Hazanko is just another one of those assholes like in Plastic Little. With
I was just gonna say
armor that's like 8 feet wide.
What the hell's that guy's name? Gisa?
I don't ask me. I'm not gonna remember it.
Gisa.
That's
whatever.
a 45-minute OVA, and the only thing I can remember is bouncy titties and.
Go watch our.
Yeah, that's about it.
Go watch our video. On it.
It's been
regardless.
It's been about a year.
A lot of anime had a lot of really wide shoulder pads back in the day.
It was the thing.
It was a thing.
Anyway, that's Cowboy Bebop. You have any last words on Cowboy Bebop?
Nope. Just watch it.
Yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix right now. So
it was basically everybody knows it's good, and going back, like I knew it was good, but going back and watching it and being an educated gentleman like I am now, and I was a child back then. Now I know why it's good. You know what I mean? It's like more apparent why it's good.
Yeah. And that's segue. Good segue. Segueing into the next topic we want to get into before we get into our review of the even more mature JIN-ROH, the Wolf Brigade. Let's talk about maturing tastes.
Let's talk about being old.
Yeah. And watching Cowboy Bebop again and getting far more enjoyment.
Yeah, over the last year we've watched a lot of shit that we watched when we were like, 20, and then we're watching it now when we're around 40, and it's like a completely different experience.
Yeah, you really appreciate it more, especially stuff that you thought you kind of liked, but you thought was slow or not that interesting. Like, you really find new enjoyment in it. And you're like, why did I ever think this wasn't good? What is wrong with me?
Because that ADD, that's why.
I don't have ADD, but I had the same problem.
Well, that was the problem.
Maybe that was the problem. Like, okay, so Dune. We already talked about Dune the movie, but like Dune the book. I read it when I was in college, right? So, I don't know, 2003-ish. And I remember thinking, this is cool, but fuck is this slow? It's killing me. Then I read it again recently, and I'm like, I tore right through it. It wasn't slow at all.
I didn't have as much problem with Dune back in the day.
Isn't slow. What's wrong with
like,
me?
I read Lord of the Rings first time when I was like 11 or something.
Lord of the Rings is a denser book.
Fucking grinder.
That's a denser book. Although it's so phenomenal. I'm going to read it again soon, I think. I need to.
I like to, that's a winter thing.
When I burned through all those Gaunt's Ghost books.
Now that it's getting chilly out, like the trees are turning,
yeah,
leaves are down, I get in the mood.
Anyway,
I get in the mood for fantasy adventure.
Yeah, you start to appreciate those things more, right? Things that might have been slower. So Cowboy Bebop, which I don't think it was slow, but I appreciate it a lot more now. I liked it back then. I appreciate
it's just
it
all the little details you notice now.
The little details, the storytelling, the way the writing's done, the way they have subtle hints, really good setup and payoff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Something that, far many people don't do.
How many times do they hint about, like all those hints about like...
All those hints about the ending, which we won't talk about,
ending,
but there's a lot of hints. You're like, oh, that's some foreshadowing.
Yeah, you go watch it a second time, it's like, oh, that's epic foreshadowing.
That's interesting.
And they just slip it in. If you're not paying attention, you don't even notice, but it's really good.
It happens too many times to be just coincidence.
Absolutely.
What else? I mean, JIN-ROH, which we'll talk about. That's another one. What else did we watch recently that really appreciated the?
Oh, Mononoke.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke. That's
because that was another I watched when I was probably early 20s, and I hadn't watched it again since. And man, that is so good.
And it was it felt a little slow. Oh, Pat Labor the movie, the first one.
Oh yeah, that's originally like why I thought of this.
Yeah, that we just watched.
Because we watched like last week we did Pat Labor, and the first time I saw that I was like, oh man, there's like no labors in this. I was like so obsessed with robots, and like now you watch it, it's like, oh, it's like a really good detective story. Like, you know, it's like way more entertaining because you like, you know, I take the time to like, you know, enjoy the rest of it.
I appreciate
being like, oh, where are the robots?
I appreciate Old Man Goto freaking manipulating like Shinohara.
The best part, right?
You know, it's good stuff. And
he's such a Columbo. I love it.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. He's got half a Columbo going on.
Yeah, right. You know, just that little taste.
But I appreciate it. And, you know, part of it is tone. You know, part of it is the series tone. It doesn't. Oshii's all over the goddamn place. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, and the Pat Labor stuff. He's like from super wacky to super serious.
The movie's pretty serious. It's got a little bit of wackiness, but it's pretty fucking serious. The second one's even more serious.
Well, all the Pat Labor movies are like a good lead into JIN-ROH because it's like you get that little taste of politics and his, you know, like, you know, Japanese politics and like his take on stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then it slides right into his weird alternate history like bullshit.
Yeah.
Where it gets like super dense politics.
Let me think. So, yeah, it's just I don't know. I think this is an invitation, you know, if it's been 5 years since you watched something, if it's been 10 years since you watched something.
Yeah, watch it again. See if it holds up.
Yeah, not something that you absolutely hated and thought was trash, although if you want to try that, go ahead. But, you know, those things that you watched and was like, it was all right. Or like, you know, you liked one thing about it, but you never really thought to watch it again. Check it out again and see how you feel.
Go back with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, see how it's matured, you know. I bet you in most cases, if it's something you found something to like about before, but wasn't, you know, your favorite thing, you're going to like it more now. You're going to like it more. And, you know, I'm actually looking forward to watching a lot of things I haven't watched in a long time because, you know, I found most of the time that's the case. There's sometimes where it's like, this wasn't that great. This was a little too childish. And now that I watch it, I'm like, you know, it doesn't speak to me anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what holds up and what doesn't.
But that's rare.
Also,
most of the time it's the other way.
Back in the day, you know, 20 years ago, there was not as much stuff. There was no streaming. God, no. There was like you had to buy a series and it was like over $100.
Netflix didn't exist, and once it did, you had to go to like a place like it's a damn Redbox and pick that shit up or have them ship it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless, so you would buy something, you watch it several times.
Yes.
And I don't think people do that anymore. Like, if you really like something...
Well, unless it's like The Office or something, and they just watch it like they're freaking Scarface.
Listen...
In a rapper's house.
There's no good Easter eggs in The Office. Like,
I'm sure there are, but I
mean,
know what
it's
you mean.
funny, but it's not that phenomenal. Regardless...
Well, it's not your cup of tea.
Watch something like 3 times. Then you really know it inside now. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying go watch something you like 3 times now, but something you did watch once before, go check it out now.
Over a period of time is what I mean, you know.
Well, if you like it the second time. If you hate it the second time, then you're probably
like something
out.
You like, if you really want to appreciate it, watch it like 3 times. Then you're going to get everything.
Okay.
Oh, it's like
I think that number may change per person, but I don't disagree.
Whatever, that's my average.
I disagree with your general sentiment.
I'm not telling you have to do that.
I prescribe exactly
for
3
me
times.
Personally. Like the 3rd time I watch something, it all sinks in and clicks.
It's like the holy hand grenade. You watch it 2 times, it's bad. You watch it 4 times, it's bad. You watch it 5 times, that's right out.
Yeah. I was like Razafon. Not to keep harping on that, but like I've watched that 4 or 5 times, and I'm still picking up new stuff because there's so much to that.
I gotta watch it again.
So many Easter eggs, so many little things. Yeah.
Where's my Blu-ray release of Gunsword?
Oh, I know.
Where the fuck is it? I want it.
Gunsword is a weird thing because it didn't do that great in Japan. So
but it did pretty damn good over here.
But it did good over here. But they like will not release a Blu-ray of it, and I desperately want it.
It's phenomenal. Anyway, we're drifting off point again, so let's drift our way. Right
back to JIN-ROH.
JIN-ROH, the Wolf Brigade.
So we went right from Pat Labor, which was Wacky Tamino, or slide right into
Tamino, Oshii.
Oh my God. Did I say Tamino?
I know.
I bitch about Tamino so much that it just automatically comes
and
off
not
my
Wacky.
tongue.
I would say, you know, it's kind of where So we talked about what to do next week, and we might do Urusei Yatsura, Beautiful Dreamer.
Let's do it.
To me, that is probably
We gotta find it.
wackier. Oshii. We're not necessarily doing this in the right order. Whereas, because I think Patlabor's in the middle.
Yes, it is.
It's in the middle. It's got serious points. It's got wacky points, but it's not too much of either. JIN-ROH is serious fucking business.
The most serious of business.
So, takes place in alternate history Japan. Post World War II.
They don't say like in the 50s.
It looks 50s,
possibly
60s.
Early 60s.
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s is what it looks like. I know there's a backstory here, and I haven't gone and read it, but it looks like there was a lot more alignment between Nazi Germany and Japan.
Yeah.
Like the Kerberos Corps have all,
they have all
Nazi
German
Germany
weapons,
guns, and the armor looks very German. There's a lot of texts in German. There's a lot of German going on.
Mostly
right?
because it looks cool.
But then like the local police, like the regular city police, so the Panzer cops, which are guys in ridiculous armor with the red spectacles and the freaking machine guns, the MG-42s, they're the Capitol Police. So they're like the federal police or whatever, have you. And then, there's of course there's local police, and the local police are more what you would expect. Traditional Japanese cops they have traditional Japanese guns and truncheons and, riot shields. And, they look like you would expect Japanese cops from that era to look.
Yep.
So they don't look especially German, but the Panzer Corps does. The Kerberos Corps. So, anyway, it starts off, there's a riot. They set it up where there's the government's a bit totalitarian. I'm not going to say completely. They don't seem to be completely, but the government's a bit heavy-handed. And the police certainly are.
They make it seem like the government's heavy-handed because they're trying to, kind of squash everything back into... because after World War II, they're trying to, get everything back to normal as fast as possible. Yes. And there's a lot of dissidents.
And they have to readjust. Japan's a country that went from, the feudal era to freaking the modern era in lightning speed.
Yeah, so 10 years or something.
Yeah, ridiculous. That was always going to cause some issues and have a lot of growing pains, right? So you have it starts out with the local police. They're holding off this riot with the, there's locals there, but then there's the dissident group, and I can't remember what the hell they're called, but there's a dissident group, right? And they're terrorists. They're legit terrorists.
Like the sect or something.
Yeah, and they have they're using Molotov cocktails with extra juice, magnesium or something in them. They're nasty. They got suicide bombers. They got, they are terrorists, legit.
Yeah, they got satchel bombs that they're throwing.
I suppose one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter, but they're terrorists, right? They got little girls being terrorists. So, but it's guys, girls, whatever. It's everybody. So the cops are trying to hold them off, and then it pops off a bit, and the Capitol Police are there, and they're not doing anything, right? Because it's political. If we do something, we'll get in trouble, right? Because everybody's leery of the Capitol Police and their power. So the Capitol Police are secretly underground in the it's not like a sewer. I guess it's a sewer, but it's
like an abandoned subway.
Yeah, it's a little more than just it's like waterways and whatever. It didn't look particularly sewer-ish. It looked more abandoned waterways and I don't know, whatever. Below the city.
Aqueducts.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyway, they're below there because that's how the terrorists are moving around. So they're there with the Panzer cops in the ridiculous armor and the red spectacles, and they're hunting them down. And they trap a group of them and they just light them up.
It's one of the most savage, gunning people down scene I've ever seen.
The MG-42s, man, they do work. It is savage. So, anyway, that happens, and then you see the main character, Fusei, and he's standing there, and he's got his gun. He runs into this girl who had previously delivered a satchel charge to throw at the cops. Right, blew up a bunch of cops.
She's like a courier for the terrorist
group.
She's
16, 17, 18. It's
high schoolish age.
Yeah, high schoolish age. But she's standing there with another satchel charge that she got, and she runs into one of the Panzer cops, and he's there. Fusei is the guy, the main character, and he's there, and he's got the gun pointed at her, And a bunch of other Panzer cops show up and they're like, shoot her, like, God, shoot her. And he hesitates. He can't do it. He doesn't shoot her.
He just asks her why.
He asks her why.
Because she's starting to like pull the string, like it's like a like a grenade basically. It's like a ripcord. And she's starting to pull it and he's like, why? And she just like gives him this look and then she pulls it.
And the guy behind him gets him down, and then she just explodes.
Yeah, she just turns into juice, man.
Yeah, she gets turned into parts. And, he lives, and with minor bruises and stuff, because that armor is
awesome
really good.
Armor.
And the guy got him down, and whatever. So after that, they're figuring out, the brass are trying to figure out what the hell to do with him, because they're like, well, and this is where the politics come in, right? Like, the local police are pissed that you were operating down there in their city without coordinating with them, and now a satchel charge went off underground. It knocked out power. It caused all these problems.
Pretty standard trope, actually.
Yeah, standard stuff, right?
It's like Die Hard.
And they got to figure out what to do with him. So they're going to send him off to get retrained. And they also bring up the Wolf Brigade, right? JIN-ROH. So it's like a smaller group inside of the Kerberos Panzer Corps that get up to real shenanigans,
they'll fuck around.
Counterintelligence shit, just like the real dirty work, the real wet work.
The CIA.
And they're not officially sanctioned, but it's like an open secret. It's like the Delta Force was for forever. Like everybody knows it exists.
It just...
Right. Not that the Delta Force is that dirty, but just same idea of like an open secret, right? So, he goes to get retrained, and then, he runs into in town a girl that looks
like the girl he killed.
Like the other girl.
Or he didn't kill her, but
yeah, the girl that killed herself
up.
And this whole movie is about him struggling. He's struggling trying to figure out, he's struggling with his own humanity, because he's not, is he a wolf or is he human, right? Like,
yeah.
He's just a savage tool for the system, but he does have some humanity left in there, but he's struggling with, because he even says, like, I meant to shoot. He doesn't even know
why he didn't. Yeah.
Why he didn't shoot that girl. Because, she was going to blow them up with a satchel charge. It's not like you could think morally and ethically he actually could have, but he just couldn't do it. He has some humanity in there. And he struggles with that the whole movie, and that does resolve in the end. This movie, there's a little love story going on, but then it's all just, we'll get into it. I'll end the kind of summary of what's going on there, because there's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of ins and outs and what have yous, and the different politics between the local police and the secret police and the Capitol Police, and they're all like...
You don't explain too much.
Pulling shenanigans on each other. You'll have to watch it to see.
There's double crosses, there's quadruple crosses, and there's octuple crosses.
Yeah, it's not super complicated, but it does take... You got to think about it for him to be like, okay, this guy's this guy, and he does this. And, it's hard at times just because it's not... He does a good job doing character designs whoever did it, does a good job doing character designs that are distinct enough in their clothes and whatnot, because this is one of those Oshii movies where everybody's drawn pretty freaking realistically in the face.
Oshii's like one of the few guys that does that. Like, Japanese people look Japanese.
They look very Japanese.
Like, he actually draws Asian people.
And not like a caricature. Like, they look...
Like, legit Asian.
Like, like someone was trying to draw their best Japanese people, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they look... Because of that, they don't have... And there's less resolution than live action, of course, because it's still anime, even though it's detailed. They don't have like the typical anime things like different color hair and ridiculous crap that lets you easily be able to tell people apart.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can be like, is that this guy?
You got to pay attention to like
guy?
What jackets people are wearing and stuff to make sure you get like keeping track.
Because there's two or three guys that look very similar and are doing, they have similar characters and similar roles, and they sound the same. They have similar voice actors, and you're like, okay, I can't quite figure this out.
But
you get there.
You can keep track.
Like you said, you watch the jackets, watch the glasses and stuff. That's how you can really tell them apart. It's
they did a good job with that.
But anyway, this movie is relentless. It's a slow burn.
Fucking savage.
But it's savage.
It's less slow than I remember.
God. Again, that's a maturity thing, I think, because it is less slow
It's exactly like I was talking about with Pat Labor when I just wanted to be Labor's doing stuff all the time, and I didn't appreciate the... like all the other characters and like the mystery and like the crime solving aspect of it. Like, this was basically the same thing. I didn't, you see the fucking armor at the beginning and the guys with the power armor with the red eyes and the MG42s, and you're like, I just want to see them kill stuff the entire movie.
Yeah.
And that was me when I was 20. But now I watched the whole thing again, and I appreciate it a lot more because there's like a lot of good storytelling there. Like a lot of good character development. It's like really interesting.
Good.
Actually.
Yeah. Again, a good
Good
character
plot.
study. Good plot. Good character study where, you're trying to figure out Fusei, like what's his deal. And then I cannot remember her name, but the girl, the Little Red Riding Hood, who's the sister, quote unquote, of the other one.
Of the one that like blew herself up.
You get to get into her mind too. And
yeah. And then they get like a little bit of a relationship going, and there's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have you.
It's very interesting, and it's very real. It feels very real.
Oh yeah, wicked bad. It's probably the most realistic like anime I've ever seen. Out of those movies.
Yeah.
With just like how people like actually act.
How people actually operate, how things actually get done. Yeah. Yeah, it's really goddamn well written. It really is. And it's well directed.
And if you're paying attention, there are no real plot holes. Like everything gets tied up at the end like pretty well. Even though there's like double crossing and triple crossing and whatever, like everything makes sense at the end. All the characters like motivations are pretty clear.
And they leave a couple things a little bit ambiguous for you to think about, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's stuff that you don't mind
thing.
though. It's not questions you need answered
like
specifically.
That guy at the end. What do who was he actually aiming at, and who would he have shot?
Oh yeah,
right.
Okay.
Like that's an interesting one to think about.
Yeah,
we won't spoiler it, but it's like, ooh, what would happen there? What was really going to happen
there?
Yeah. But I mean, there's really only 3 action scenes in the whole thing.
Yeah, and they're fucking great though.
Oh yeah, the very beginning, the one in the museum, and then the one at the end. That's real. I mean, there's
the one
a couple
in the museum is
bits,
great because that's the one where he's like, "Yeah, I knew what you assholes were up to all along."
I guess you could include the training scene, but that one has a lot less tension because it is just a training scene.
Yeah,
but that's like that gives you a little bit more with the armor, so that's kind of cool.
It's very spare, but oh man, it's done so well.
It's
fucking savage.
It's excellent. Oh, don't watch it for a feel good movie. It is not a feel good movie. It'll make you think. I didn't find it that depressing. It's not nihilistic to me completely.
Nah, like
it's
like I
it's
said,
a black pill.
When I first watched, yeah, it really is. When I first watched it, I didn't really get all of it. But when I watched it the second time, like I'm like, you know what? Everybody deserves what they got.
Yeah, I don't feel as bad about things that happened, but man, it's savage. It doesn't play.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's a very. I mean, it seems silly, but it's mature, right? Like it's a very.
Oh yeah, it's like not for children.
Truly mature anime. I don't mean like there's blood and guts and titties everywhere. Like no,
it's like just actual real shit.
Like oh Jesus, like yeah, it's. I gotta twirl my mustache. Oh yes, yes, is for the discerning gentleman.
I'm a discerning gentleman now.
But it's good. It's like a good.
No, it's excellent.
It's a good drama.
Way better than I
drama.
remember it being.
Yes, and it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty despite being like having. I said it's got the most depressing palette I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it has like this like just bleak
earth
color
tones,
palette. It's all gray and
desaturated
like
palette, except for those red eyes.
Yeah,
those are very
which
saturated.
is good because it like sticks out.
Oh yeah,
they do such a great job of making
smart.
like their powered armor like so terrifying.
Very smart. But yeah, I mean it's Oshii is. I have so much more appreciation now for Oshii than I ever did, and I always liked him, but I always thought a lot of the stuff he did was just a little too stodgy for me. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm appreciating him more.
Now I'm old and stodgy.
Yeah, I'm appreciating that old man more.
It's funny, like the stuff you just don't get when you're a kid, and now it's like, oh, now I get why that's good.
Yeah, you get a little more experience under your belt, you understand these things.
Yep. No, it's really good though. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it
because it's like super classic. One of those things you just need to watch.
And it's not, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but it's only an hour and 40 minutes. It's not.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It doesn't. They don't.
It was
torture you for 2.5 hours.
It feel as long this time as it did when
They don't torture you for forever. There's slow movies that are like 2.5 hours. You just want to die.
And there's no waste either. Like every
No.
scene has a purpose, and it, there's no like it's not bloated.
A lot of
really.
it's slow, like a Villeneuve movie is slow, where like, he takes time to like, characters aren't always saying something, and you can see them gazing off or thinking or whatever.
Yeah,
And that's important. It gives it room to breathe, and it makes it feel more real.
you had to with this
Yeah.
because it was just like you had to let things build up
Well,
to that like ignition
Fusei's,
point.
This side of Kiriko and the levels of freaking dialogue he has. He's not exactly
Oh yeah,
talkative.
like 3 fucking words the whole thing, but
Yeah.
he doesn't really need any. He just kind of explains himself at the end. He's like, nope, fuck all y'all.
Yeah. Anyway, JIN-ROH. Any last words about JIN-ROH?
Not really. I mean, nothing I haven't already said. Definitely watch it.
Yeah, I don't really have a bad word to say about it. I mean, the only thing bad I'll say about it is, if it may not be your bag. Like, you may watch it and just be like, this is too fucking slow, or this is just not I'm not into this political intrigue stuff or whatever. I really do just want to see those guys in that awesome armor, chew some people up with MG42s.
20-year-old me.
Exactly. So don't feel bad if you feel that way. Obviously, ain't gotta like
I
what we like.
completely understand because I still feel that way sometimes. But watching it a second time, I got way more out of it, and it's very good. But under no circumstances do you ever watch the live action movies. Promise me you won't, because they're fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, no.
Everything that I didn't like about it the first time I watched it is magnified times 1,000 in the fucking
The
live
red
action ones.
spectacles and all
It's
those.
just like
yeah.
boring sitting around conversation, and like nobody ever gets gunned down ever.
No.
But anyway, on that note,
I think that's what we got for this week.
yeah, what are we gonna do next week?
Well, maybe we'll do Yurusei Yatsura.
Or
Maybe we'll do an Oshii break.
it's either gonna be that or it's gonna be
We got the Escaflowne
the
movie.
Escaflowne movie.
We got Endless Waltz.
We're gonna keep you in. Actually, we won't keep you in suspense because
You'll know when you see what's at the preview at the end of this video.
yeah, because I'm gonna decide before tomorrow.
Correct.
Anyway, until next time, have a lovely week.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.